May I have the kind permission of your Lordship, the Honorable Chief Justice, High Court of Uttarakhand, to start the proceedings. Thank you, my Lord. Honorable Mr. Justice Raghavendra Singh Chauhan, the Chief Justice, High Court of Uttarakhand. Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjay Kumar Mishra, Senior Judge, High Court of Uttarakhand. Honorable Mr. Justice Sharad Kumar Sharma. Honorable Mr. Justice Narayan Singh Dhanik. Honorable Mr. Justice Ramesh Chandra Khulbe. Honorable Mr. Justice Alok Kumar Verma. The Honorable Judges of High Court of Uttarakhand. Sri S.N. Babulkar, the Learned Advocate General, State of Uttarakhand. All the right Honorable Chief Justices and Honorable Judges of other Honorable State High Courts gracing this ceremony through live streaming. The respected Registrar General and other registrars of the court, Member Secretary, SLSA, OSD, SLSA, the Learned CSC, the Learned President, and other member office bearers of the High Court Bar Association, other respected dignitaries present physically and virtually in this function, ladies and gentlemen from the press. My respectful greetings and a warm welcome to all the honorable and respected dignitaries. Mark Twain could never be less right when he said, kindness is the language which a deaf can hear and a blind can see. Please allow me to quote Albert Bigelow Paine, also over here, when he says, what we do for ourselves will eventually die with us. What we do for others and the world remains and is immortal. Kindness is a virtue without which the justice delivery system is incomplete. Whatever we do for the stakeholders in the justice delivery system is not precisely kindness, but it is next to kindness when we devise ways and means to make the justice delivery system accessible and meaningful to them through out-of-box ways means. Good morning once again. I'm Ambika Pant, Registrar Computer, High Court of Uttarakhand. Today we gather to witness the flag-off and commissioning ceremony of 8 mobile court units. Access to justice and collaterally equal access to justice is a celebrated fundamental right under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. In Anita Kushwaha versus Pusap Sadan, year 2016, the Honorable Supreme Court has propounded that one of the access to justice is that the effective adjudicatory mechanism provided by the state is reasonably accessible in terms of distance. Improving access to the people for the people who are living in the far-flung off areas and those who face disability is one definite way of advancing this fundamental right. The remoteness of the habitats and virtual absence of transport facilities in remote and tough landscapes of Uttarakhand pose a huge challenge for the litigants, particularly the women, the children, and the disabled witnesses. Further, time is wasted in recording the evidence of doctors and police officers who are frequently transferred from one place to another or do not come to the court because of their compelling public duties unless repeated harsh methods are taken against them. To address the scenarios, the High Court of Uttarakhand has come up with an innovative arrangement of recording evidences through the mobile court units. The focus in the preliminary stages of this scheme would be on the women and children who are victims and naturally the witnesses in the court cases. The first stage would also cover the doctors and the investigation officers whose evidence cannot be secured without unreasonable delay to the trials and hardships to the public in general. We would be honored if our guest and the audience join us for a short virtual tour of the mobile court units.
मोबाइल कोर्ट यूनिट उत्तराखंड उच्च न्यायालय द्वारा की गई एक ऐसी पहल है जिसके द्वारा यदि किसी साक्षी अथवा गवाह का किसी असाधारण परिस्थिति की वजह से अदालत में उपस्थित होना संभव न हो उपलब्ध होगी। मोबाइल कोड यूनिट में वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग हेतु लैपटॉप, प्रिंटर, एलईडी, टीवी, वेब कैमरा एवं सीसीटीवी इत्यादि सभी आवश्यक उपकरण लगाए गए हैं। वाहन में प्रतिनियुक्त न्यायालय समन्वयक, गवाह अथवा संबंधित व्यक्ति की पहचान सुनिश्चित करने के पश्चात मोबाइल कोड यूनिट को संबंधित न्यायालय से वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग के माध्यम से जोड़ेगा। संबंधित न्यायालय साक्ष्य, अभिलेखन अथवा सुनवाई की कार्रवाई को इस संबंध में प्रचलित विधि तथा नियमों का अनुपालन सुनिश्चित करते हुए संपादित करेगा।
Thank you. That's proactive justice at the doorsteps of the needy. We certainly hope that with this unique facility, we will be able to reach our hands to one who need it, make a difference in somebody's life, and do justice and kindness to our children, women, and men in distress. May I now have the honor of requesting His Lordship, the Honorable Chief Justice, High Court of Uttarakhand, to grace this ceremony with his noble address.
My esteemed brothers, Mr. Bablukar, the learned Advocate General for the state of Uttarakhand, Mr. A.S. Rawat, the President of the Bar Association of High Court, other members of the Executive, the learned Registrar General and the other registrars of the High Court, learned senior advocates, learned members of the Bar, ladies and gentlemen. When I came here on January 7th this year, I brought a lot of dreams with me for the state of Uttarakhand. I'm glad to note that at least one of my dreams of having mobile vans for all the 13 districts of the state is about to be finished today itself. On the earlier occasion, we were privileged enough to flag off 5 mobile vans which are currently working in 5 districts. What is heartening to note is that in Pithoragarh district, in fact, a person who was disabled was able to depose before the court by the use of mobile van. And that is exactly the aim of having mobile vans in all the 13 districts, so that, as pointed out by Mr. Pant, the learned registrar computers, so that women, children, and disabled witnesses are able to address the court and to depose before them. As you all know, one of the biggest bottleneck in criminal trial is the non-availability of either the IO or the medical doctor. Therefore, the aim is to send the mobile van to the respective doctor or to the IO, wherever they may be posted, so that that bottleneck can be cleared and the trial can end as soon as possible. But this is not to say that this is the end of our dream. Our dreams are far ahead and far wider than this. I'm glad to note that in earnest, the Honorable Supreme Court, and especially the Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Mr. Justice Ramanna, has taken upon it himself to start talking about the availability of infrastructure for the district judiciary, which is the need of the hour. Until and unless complete infrastructure, both in terms of physical infrastructure and in terms of human infrastructure, is not provided to us, it will be very difficult for us to deliver justice speedily, inexpensively, and at the doorsteps of the people. I'm glad to note that during my tenure as the Chief Justice, the government has been very generous in providing us with land and agreeing to provide us with better infrastructure. I just hope that wherever I leave off, the next Chief Justice would be able to carry on. In about 5 days' time, I shall be passing off my baton to the next Honorable Chief Justice of this court. And I hope that all the dreams that I had brought with me in January this year would be completed by the next Chief Justice. What I look forward to is seeing a robust judiciary, a robust bar for the state of Uttarakhand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my Lord, for the benign address. No one can agree less with my Lord and his noble thoughts as well as his noble intentions. Indeed, the purpose of life is not to be just happy, as said by Ralph Waldo Emerson. It is to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. The acts that we have taken under the able leadership of Honorable Chief Justice are just a manifestation of what Mr. Emerson said. Now we will be soon off to the flag off arena. But before that, may I request the respected Registrar General to extend a vote of thanks and tell a brief about what has been done.
My Lord, Honorable Mr. Justice Sri Raghvendra Singh Chauhan, the Chief Justice High Court of Uttarakhand, Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjay Kumar Mishra, Honorable Mr. Justice Sharad Kumar Sharma, Honorable Mr. Justice Narayan Singh Dhanik, Honorable Mr. Justice Samesh Chandra Khulbe, Honorable Mr. Justice Alok Kumar Verma, Sri S.N. Babulkar, the Learned Advocate General, all the honorable dignitaries present with us virtually, the Learned Registrars of the Court, Member Secretary SLSA Uttarakhand, Learned Chief Standing Council State of Uttarakhand, the Learned President, the Secretary and other executive members of the High Court Bar Association, District Information Officer Nainital, ladies and gentlemen from the press. The justice delivery system is duty bound to make it accessible and meaningful to the stakeholders in the system. Doing justice and taking justice to doorsteps is a challenging task. With the introduction of the mobile court units, the High Court of Uttarakhand has taken an unprecedented and pioneering step towards making justice more accessible to the people of Uttarakhand. Even though mobile vans fitted with video conferencing and internet facilities were introduced by Honorable Mr. Justice Raghvendra Singh Chauhan, Chief Justice, High Court of Uttarakhand in the state of Telangana, when His Lordship was the Honorable Chief Justice of High Court of Telangana, His Lordship envisioned a higher profiled role for such vans in the state of Uttarakhand after recognizing the hardship of the people and bottlenecks in the justice delivery channels of the state. I believe that we can walk our walk strongest when we walk with responsibility, with focus, with grace, and with gratitude. We are greatly indebted to His Lordship, the Honorable Chief Justice, for giving us this vision and belief that no delivery system we will have to develop an out-of-box approach and back it up with steely determination. We are thankful to His Lordship for giving this unusual gift to the justice delivery system of Uttarakhand, by means of which we can certainly make justice more accessible to people and in fact take it to their doorsteps. I thank His Lordship for being benign enough to grace this flag off and commissioning ceremony. I also thank the other esteemed honorable judges of this court for enriching this ceremony with their gracious presence and flagging off the mobile court units to their respective districts. I am thankful to the Learned Advocate General and all other venerable dignitaries who have bestowed immeasurable honor upon us by gracing this function by their kind presence virtually and physically. I am thankful as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words but to live by them. So, with a resolve to fulfill by action the vision of all the great responsibilities of this nation, the judicial fraternity, the Honorable Chief Justice, and other honorable judges, I once again thank you all for your compassionate, pitying vision and acts of kindness that enrich the judicial system. Jai Hind.
Thank you, respected sir. We are indeed blessed to have a great visionary to lead our path to convenient justice for one and all. We now will be moving to the flag of his fort before returning back to this hall for closing of this commissioning ceremony. I will now humbly request the Honorable Chief Justice and Honorable Judges of the Court as well as other dignitaries to kindly proceed to the flag of his fort.
नहीं मैं तो जल्दी दे रहा हूँ क्या करूँगा की बात
for their relentless endeavor in making this scheme possible with the blessing of Honorable the Chief Justice. May I now have the permission of His Lordship, the Honorable Chief Justice, to close the flag off and commissioning ceremony of the mobile court units. Thank you, my Lord. May I now request all the august dignitaries and guests to kindly join us for tea in this very hall. Thank you.